Hello everyone, as you might remember me, my name is Craig. I am from ISM and it's the last time you see my face on YouTube. And it's my last CS video that I'm making. So I needed to create a Pong game. So I created a JavaScript file that you can see here, pong.js. And for executing my game with any kind of problems, I needed an HTML file. I called it game HTML. Here in game HTML, I indicated that I want to have a canvas width which is equal to 1000 and height which will be equal to 650. And also I mentioned that the source for my game.html so that the code will execute it needed to be a pong.js file that I've already created. Mention that they need to have exactly the same name, otherwise it won't execute the code that you wrote on your JavaScript. So here I'm going to talk about how I created my game. So first line, it means that I have a canvas. Second part, it mentions that I have two-dimensional. I mean, I have x and y axis, and I have constant a, which is equal to the width. I mean 1000, and constant b, which is equal to height. It's all about being 650. So when we in all kinds of game, when you start a game, there is, as you know, there is no winner and there is no loser. And that's why I have let the winner be equal to none. Let P1 score equal to 0 and let P2 score equal to 0. So P1 is the player 1 and P2 is the player 2. They needed to be equal to the 0 because there is no winner and there is no one. There is the first move and there is nothing happened in the game yet. So before starting my coding, I need to explain you what does it mean math.random, math.round, and math.floor. Math.random, it returns a random number in the interval between 0 and 1. Math.round is an ordinary rounding that we used to study in our schools. For example, when you have 5.5, it will be equal to 6, and when you have 4.3, it will be equal to 4. Math.floor rounds the number to the number n to the least integer. For example, if you have 10.99, it will be equal to 10 and not 11. And so now we need to understand how does my game works. I wanted to have constant plus or minus, which will be equal to the function return math.random multiplied by 2 minus 1. So math.random can have a possibility to have a value between 0 and 1, and 1 is not included. So math.random can be 0, and when it's multiplied by 2 and minus 1, it will give us minus 1. And if I want to have a plus 1, I will need to put in math.random 0.99999 multiplied by 2 and minus 1. It will be something very close to 1. And also I need to have a constant random, which will be a function that takes a number, return math.floor, math.random multiplied by none plus 1. It means that if I have a math random equal to 0 multiplied by the number I have, it's still 0 and plus 1. It will return the uh, 1. So I wanted to limit my constant random function from 1 till the number that I put here, because if I have a math random equal to 0.99999 and I multiplied it by the number, so I have something. Okay, let's consider that it's 1 multiplied by number. I have the number that I had plus 1. It will have a possibility to overcome the number with some 0.999 part, and then when I do math floor, it helped me to go back to the number. So if I have 4 at the end of the day, due to this function, I will have my I will have my num. So here there is nothing difficult to understand, but you can also mention that I pushed my code to the GitHub more than 8 days ago, and I wrote all the comments that you need to understand the game better. So here I wanted to have the background image and the images for number from 0 to 10. We need to understand that the canvas I have has this 1060, 1650 area included, but I don't use all the area for the game because one part of area I just don't use because that's the part where I want the numbers to be indicated. I mean the number of people who wins, or I mean the number of people, player who win or lose. So that's why I don't want it to have all canvas used, and I use only a part of it, and the other part is just for indicating the scores. So I have a background image. The background image is something that attracts people's attention. In my case, it's not that kind of attractive, but I have done my best. And here I have image 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I have all the numbers from 0, I mean from 1, no, I mean from 0 to 10. And I also have a dash, I mean it's slash between the two numbers that the player 1 and the player 2 gains. You can understand it easily when you will play my game. So let us start the most interesting part of our game. Game data. It's all about the data we need to have so in our game. So is post is false. It means that there will be there will be a need to pause for some time when one of the players win the battle. For example, if the player 1 wins, the game doesn't start it simultaneously like in a no. We need a 1.5 seconds. I wanted my game to be that kind of because it's nonsense to start a game like without even a breathing. That's why I wanted is supposed to be false. So we need to have some time. Player 1 is someone on the bottom. I mean, it's the player who is on the not on the upper but on the downside. The player 1 needs to have x, y, I mean the position where it will be situated. And let me mention that in Canvas you have y and x axis, and when you go down to the y axis, it's not going to the negative side, it's going to the positive side, and it's getting more and more. I mean, you are uh, I hope you understand what I wanted to say. And x going to be added when it goes from right to the from left to the right. And if you want to add something on y-axis, you need to go from up to down. Now I have the width and height. It means that I don't have just a slash, or I don't have just a dash. I have rectangle that plays, and I give it to color of black. And I have player 2, which has the same. When you look here, they have the same position of x. Look here and look here, and they have the same position for both, but y is equal to 620 and y is equal to 30. It means that one is a player that's under, and the second one is the player who is on the top, and it has the same width, same height, because I don't want it just to be a dash, and it has its own color. So when it comes to ball, here we have the x, which is a random variable, random 406, 640 plus 20. The ball will appear somewhere on canvas regarding its x coordinate, and we need to know it well. So when it comes to y coordinate, we need to have mat.random multiplied by 450 plus random 100 plus 50. It means that the first part indicates whether the ball is on the upper side or on the downside. If we have a ball, we need to have its radius. It's logical. And we need to have a x delta and y delta plus or minus multiplied by random 3 plus 5. It means that the ball will choose randomly the direction. Y delta does the same, and I colored my ball with the blue color. So here I wanted to have if game data dot ball y is greater than b and b divided by 2, game data dot ball dot delta y needs to be minus 1. If the y coordinate of the ball is on the lower part of the count, it's all about helping people to understand that if the ball is on the lower part of the canvas, it needs to go upward, and if it's on the upside, it's logical that it will need to go to the downside. So it's this part is for indicating that moment. And now I have constant P1, which is game delta for player 1. Constant P2 is game data dot player 2. It's just about the convenience. And constant ball is equal to game delta dot ball. Constant draw, I mean, now as we have the background image and all the game data we need to draw the game that is important for us. So we need to context that we need every time we draw our background image over everything. So when we have, for example, when the player one wants, we need to restart the game from the drawing the background image. And that's why is the way we draw a circle. Now we need to draw a circle, and that's the way to draw a circle. Here we need to give them a color, here we need to fill it, and we need to give a width of it, and actually we're just giving and creating our ball by this. And why not? We need also to create our players. I mean, not create, but draw. I hope you understand me better. So we need to give them a color, we need to give them X, Y, width, and height, and also it's important to fill them with a color. I mean, I have done the same for player 1 and the same thing for player 2. So it seems to be complicated, but this function just draws the score picture on the right part of the canvas in accordance of a player in according which player wins. So as I already mentioned, there is a dash between two numbers that I have on my right side of a canvas. If P1 score is equal to 0, it means that P1 has nothing. We need to clear the rectangle. I mean, clear, draw, clear, draw. We need to repeat the same action over and over again. And we have a constant don't draw image 0. So it means that on the right part we will have the same the same indicators, uh, and it will draw the image of 0, which means that player 1 is not winning. Else if the player 1 will have a score 1, we will just need to do the same things as we have done for the player 1 when the score was equal to 0, and we just need to replace the image 0 with the image 1. So it means that now we have the image 1 instead of the image 0. It goes around till the 10th one, and now we are doing the same thing for the player 2. Concept, we can mention that look, x is equal to the same, y is getting changed because y is here 400 and here it's 100, and the x delta and y delta are similarly the same.